Well, Dalet Yud is the new one, so let's go back to Dalet Zion.
Okay. By the way, Rabbi Myers yesterday was talking about Negaim. He said that's such a tough Mishnah. It's a tough Mishnah. Anybody doing that? I said, yeah, I'm in the middle of it for like the second time or something, and I'm really like, it's very, very hard.
Respect.
Okay. About how it's about living skin and expansion. If subsequently the living skin disappeared, the nega is still tummy because of expansion. If the expansion disappeared, the nega is still tummy because of living skin. The same rule applies to white hair and to expansion. If the nega went away and returned at the end of the week, it is treated as if it remained unchanged. If the nega went away and returned after it was declared tahor, it was examined anew. If the nega was bright and became dull, it was dull and became bright, and it was treated as if it remained unexchanged, as long as it does not become less bright than the 4 shades. If the nega contracted and then expanded, or it expanded and then contracted, Rabbi Akiva renders it tummy, and the sages render it tahu. And Baharis, the size of a gris expanded by a half a gris, and when a half a gris of the original Baharis disappeared. Rabbi Akiva says it must be examined anew, and the sages render it tahu. Baharis said the size of a gris expanded more than half of a gris, and when half of a gris of the original Baharis disappeared, Rabbi Akiva rendered it tame, and the Chachamim rendered it tahu. A Baharis, the size of a gris expanded by more than a gris, but the original Baharis disappeared. Rabbi Akiva rendered it tame, and the sages say it must be examined anew.
Okay. All right. So basically, it looks like our departure point between Chachamim and Rabbi Akiva is that Chachamim view the location of the original thing as static, whereas Rabbi Akiva seems to see that even if it's got some overlap, then it's still the same. Then it's still the same nega. Okay. Now another case, Beheres Kagris. So it started out like a gris, and it was cleared. Okay, it stayed static for 2 weeks, and the Kohen came and said, okay, it's tahor. Now, pasta kagris, it expanded by a kagris. Okay, and nolda lapision michya osea lavan, and inside the expansion is either some healthy skin or 2 white hairs. Okay, and the original nega has disappeared. Okay, so now Rabbi Akiva metame. So Rabbi Akiva looks at this and says, okay, this is straight away an expansion of the original. Okay, so once again, he says it's migrated a little bit, but it's still the original one, and therefore it's called a pision, and it has expanded. But remember, look, it's already expanded by a kagris. Chachamim omrim teireh batchila. The Chachamim say, look at it as if it's a brand new nega. And of course, the coin's going to be matameh because it's got michya, it's got 2 hairs, it's the right size. So what's the difference between Rabbi Akiva and the Chachamim? Okay, and there are a few explanations in the commentaries. I think the easiest one to understand is whether or not it requires another korban. Wait, hang on. A korban, would it, if he got clear the first one, he actually would not require a korban. But shrank, yeah. If so, well, the difference is basically, do they come through at the same nega? Would it require a separate korban? That's one aspect of it. And secondly, what are the other aspects that are different between them? Let the tumor, yeah. Okay, let's just leave it as that is one of the things that's different between them. Okay. Okay, so it started out with half a gris, which is too small even to look at. Okay, and there's nothing in it. Okay, nolda beheres kechatzi gris ubasara achas. And another half a gris appeared, and it has 1 white hair in it, but only 1 white hair. You need 2 in order to decide it. So all that you've got in that case is a full gris, and that means that's a quarantine because 1 white hair is not enough to confirm it. Okay. Next case, beheres kechatzi gris. It starts out as a half a gris, and it's got 1 white hair in it. Okay. So now you've got 2 half grisim that will come together and 2 white hairs, but again, it's lahaskir. You have to quarantine it because the beheres has to precede both of the white hairs, and one of the white hairs was there already. Okay. Second, another case, beheres kechatzi gris or ba shtei saros, or here you've got a half a gris that's already got two white hairs in it. No, the beheres kechatzi gris and another beheres of half a gris came next to it, so now you've got the full gris required. Uba sara achas, and it's got one hair in it. Hareze last year, once again, it's a quarantine case because the first two hairs that were in the first half a gris don't count, because when they appeared, they were inside a nega that was too small to be counted, and then afterwards came the expansion into a full gris, and that did not turn the two hairs. So that's just that is for quarantine, not for confirmation. Okay. Yudalef. Beheres kechatzi gris ve'en baklum. So once again, it's a half a gris and there's nothing in it. Nolda beheres kechatzi gris or ba'ashter saros. And now another half gris appears, and this one now has got two white hairs in it. Hooray, ze lahaklit. Okay, confirmed. This is now a full gris and two white hairs, two hairs turned white because of the new area. Okay. So if the beheres came first, it is tameh. If the white hairs were there first, then it is tahor. Im safek, if there's a doubt, however, we don't know which came first. This is called tameh. Okay, Rabbi Yeshua kiha. Now this is that word kiha you're going to recognize from the Pesach Haggadah. Hakeis shinav. When you blunt the wicked son, or you blunt his teeth. So it means that Rabbi Yeshua looked at this and said, right? He didn't like this idea. He was unhappy with this ruling of Tameh over here, but he struggled to find reasoning to go against it. I'm not sure. So it's an interesting thing because you don't find that word very often in Mishna, where somebody doesn't like a ruling, but they okay.
All right.
And that's so this is a case over here of Tumah, and it's good that now we segue now into Mishnah Aleph, because kol safek negaim tahor chutz mizeh v'od echad. So in general, when we have a safek with negaim, we go lahakel, except for this and one other. So this case over here, where the nega appeared and had two white hairs in it, and we're not sure which came first, because Roba Sikuyim is that hair's natural color is black, and if it's white inside a nega, chances are that the nega turned it white. Okay. Now, what's the other case? He had a beheres the size of a gris, and he was sent into quarantine. And now this nega has grown. Okay, so what's the doubt? What's the doubt? And we're not sure whether it's the same nega or whether the original nega disappeared and this one appeared near it. So the Kohen lost track of exactly where it was, and the guy says, "Well, I think it was there, and I think it moved." So I'm not sure if this is the same nega or if it's a new nega. Right? The difference being that if it's a new nega, then he just goes back into quarantine. Whereas if it's the same one and it's grown, he's muchlat. Okay, and in this safek we say, look, Rova Sekuyim, we're talking about the nega, and now it's grown, it's the same nega. So once again, it's a tameh, it's a safek, but we say this particular safek is tameh, and we're done. Okay, that's it. Let's do some chazaras until I need to go.
Okay.
Aleph Hey.
How does it cause leniency? It contained white hair, and the white hair disappeared. The two white hairs were white and turned black. One was white and one was black, and they both turned black. The hairs were long and became short. One hair was long and the one short, and they both became short. A boil touched one or both of the white hairs. A boil surrounded one or both hairs. The hairs were separated by a boil and the healing skin of a boil, a burn, or a healing skin of a burn, or a dull with white blemish. nega has contained living skin, and the living skin disappeared. The nega was square and became round or oblong, and it was surrounded and moved to the side. It was together and became scattered. A boil covered, surrounded, divided, or decreased the mikya. Whether this was done by a boil, the living skin of a boil, the burn, the living skin of a burn, or a white dull blemish, the nega had an expansion, and then the expansion disappeared, and the original nega disappeared, or became smaller so that the two together did not contain a gris. A boil, the living skin of a boil, a burn, a living skin on a burn, or a dull white blemish divided between the original nega and the expansion, they cause leniency. How does the postponement cause leniency? The nega contained no white hair, and white hair appeared on it. The hairs were black and turned white. One was black and one was white, and they both turned white. They were short and became long. One was short and the other was long, and they both became long. A boil touched or surrounded one or became both hairs. The hairs were separated by a boil. The healing skin of a boil, a burn, the healing skin of a burn or a dull white blemish, and then the boil, burn, or blemish disappeared. The nega did not contain living skin, and living skin appears. The living skin was round or oblong and became square. The living skin was on the side of the nega and became surrounded. The living skin was scattered and came together. A boil covered the living skin. A boil, the living skin of a boil, a burn, the living skin of a burn, or a dull white blemish, surrounded, divided, or made the living skin smaller, and then the boil, burn, or blemish disappeared. The nega had no expansion and expanded and expanded. A boil, the living skin of a boil, a burn, the living skin of a burn, or a dull white blemish divided the original nega from expansion, and then the boil, burn, and blemish disappeared, and this causes stringency. The bright Baharis disappears dull on a light, complex person, and a dull blemish appears bright on an Ethiopian. Rabbi Yishmael says the children of Israel for whom I should be the atonement are like boxwood, neither black nor white nor an intermediate color. Rabbi Akiva says the painters have dyes with which they paint the shapes in black, white, and intermediate shades. He brings the dye of an intermediate color and paints around the nega, which is then examined by comparing it to the medium color. Rabbi Yehuda says appearances of Negaim are dealt with leniently and not strictly. A light complex person is examined leniently by comparing the nega and with his own skin. Where an Ethiopian is examined leniently by comparing the nega to an intermediate color. The sages say both are compared to an intermediate color. Okay, want me to continue? Or you have to go?
Let's carry on. And
okay.
Just by the way, Self-Man Kriyas Shema is at 9:30. You're fine.
Okay, good. All right. We do not examine nega in the early morning, nor in the late afternoon, nor inside the house during a cloudy day.
Wait. Where are you? We're in.
I was in base, but I should have done that. Base is tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's go to Olas Chestalad.
Okay. I just got okay. 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 Yeah, stop. Over here. Okay. I don't understand how they do this. There are items that are barriers against tumah, but they do not convey tumah. A loom that is ready for weaving, the ropes of a bed, garbage baskets, and window bars. These items neither convey tumah nor act as barriers against tumah. Seeds and plants that are connected to the ground, other than the plants listed above: hailstones, snow, frost, ice, salt, an animal that jumps from one spot to another, a person that jumps from one spot to another, a bird that flies, a garment that flutters, and a ship that sails on water. But if the ship was tied with something that can hold it in place, or a stone was placed on the garment, it conveys tumah. Rabbi Yossi says a house on a ship does not contain tumah. If two sealed barrels, each containing part of a corpse, the high sides of an olive, are located inside a house, the barrels remain tahor, but the house remains tummy. If one of the barrels was open, the barrel and the room are tummy, but the other barrel remains tahor. A similar ruling applies to two chambers that open into a room. Thanks. Olive.
No,
that's it. That's it, right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We can do, I think, one more. Kalim.
Okay.
Kalim Heydalad.
Right. An oven that was heated from the outside, or that was heated without its intent, or that was heated in an artisan's workshop is tameh. It once happened that, sorry? What happened that a fire broke out among the ovens of Kefar Signa, and the case came in Yavna, and the rabbi Gamil ruled the ovens tameh. The supplement of the oven of householders is tahor, and that of bakers is tummy because he supports it spit on it. The Yochanan Hansandla says because he bakes with it when he is hard pressed. Similarly, the supplement of the cauldron of olive boils is tummy, and that of dyes is tahor. The oven that was filled with earth up to its midpoint, the area from the earth and downward contracts tuma via contact. The area from the earth and upward contracts tuma and via airspace. If one placed an oven over the mouth of a pit or over the mouth of a cistern and placed a stone there, Rabbi Yehuda says if he lights the fire below, the oven is heated above and is tummy. But the sages say since in any event the oven was heated, it is tummy.
Okay, let's end it over there.
Okay, good. Thank you. Have a great day.
Do you feel good?
Thank you. I hope so. Have a
Okay.
great day. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.